built as a homologation car so that Porsche could go racing. The very first GT3 RS was never intended to be a permanent addition to the range, and then people drove it. Despite the fact that fewer than 120 came to the UK and only 680 were built in total, the reputation it went on to develop meant the future for the GT3 RS was assured. Its 3.6 litre engine was rated at the same 381 brake horsepower as the lesser GT3. In reality, each superlight car left the factory with well over 400 brake horsepower, and you can tell. I'm Roger Bailey, and this drive is going to be special. And special too is the company who's kindly loaned us this car. You see, we're at Nine Master, and before we head off, allow me to take a moment to show you around this hidden gem of a place. Not heard of Nine Master? Well, here is an independent specialist who will not only service or repair your Porsche, but can actually create your very own Porsche of dreams. I'm thinking in a future video I really should show you around Nine Master and the achingly desirable cars they produce. Right now though, behold this brute of a 911, which is a 996 GT3 RS, slammed low down to the ground and wearing a spectacular array of wings, spoilers, air intakes and vents. It looks every inch a racer. Based on the previous 2002 GT3, the RS ramps up the visual aggression and ramps up its effectiveness too, with unheard of levels of downforce achieved with reduced drag so that it can freely preserve its show-stopping 190 mph top speed. And this was 17 years ago, let's not forget. And today this car makes the old fried egg headlights actually look quite cool. A close-up inspection of these lights show they're actually quality pieces of kit. I previously reviewed a modern GT3 RS, yet we can turn to this 996 launched all those years ago to discover where that RS DNA comes from. We find it's a process of mixing all the usual 911 qualities and then adding more. That's more performance, more poise, more grip, even better steering feel together with a big helping of more excitement. Then check out these ram air ducts. They force air into the engine intake with a full 18 millibars of pressure, enough to create an additional 15 brake horsepower. Interestingly, that extra BHP isn't mentioned anywhere since the official engine output figures for a homologation are certified on a static dynamometer. So this Gen 2 996 RS was based on the standard Gen 1 GT3, a car which had already been heaped with praise, and they went and added lightness. They replaced aluminium with titanium in the engine, the suspension, even the wheel nuts. The bonnet is carbon fibre, and this rear window, well, that's plastic. Leave this car outside for too long and it may just blow away in the wind. So in order to make a statement, we have racing RS script adorning the flanks and these distinctive wheels. Oh, and you could have a choice of colour at the time, either red or white, but that was just the wheels. The car, that was white. Now, I'm not at liberty to reveal who the actual owner of this car is, but I'd like to thank him anyway for this opportunity. But I can reveal fully that this car is no stranger to being reviewed, as it's the very same car which featured on the Top Gear programme back in the day. And not only did it shrug off gratuitous thrashing by Jeremy and the Stig, today, some years later, and 50,000 miles of mostly track use behind it, our car's only failing, other than the usual consumables, has been worn synchromesh on second gear, necessitating a gearbox build by the guys here at Nine Master, and that's it. That's less wear and tear than my wife's second car. So let's drop down into these bucket seats, noting the slight smell of you get of an old car as we get in. Twist the old style key, the engine bursts into life, and then it settles to a loud, gruff idle. As soon as you begin driving, you feel some sort of otherworldly connection. There's intense detail coming through the steering, and you're immediately in tune with the front end of this car. It's fabulously responsive with a feel of immense grip, steering pulling this way and that, following the surface changes on these war-torn UK roads. Then venture out onto smoother tarmac, pull it into a corner, and it is instantly obedient, immediately tipping that super light nose precisely where you choose to place it. Raise your pace and the merest tilt of the wheel pitches the RS into a corner. The body squats ever so slightly on its stiff suspension, and the aggressive tyres seem to magnetise to the tarmac beneath, easing the power, launch out of the bend and be propelled to the back of beyond. It's so obvious that a track is the home for the RS. However, as a consolation, and seeing as we have found some traffic-free tarmac, it would be rude not to let this monumental Mesga motor bare its teeth. That was 0 to 60 in about 4.2 seconds, even on a moist road, and while the rear steps out oh so slightly, the RS feels like an obedient friend. No drama, just control. How supremely rewarding this must be on a track, I can only imagine. So the 996 GT3 RS has had its place in history secured. Its rarity, its status and its extraordinary ability has already led to climbing prices. This is great news for existing owners, though their desire to take their machines on track may wane if values continue to climb. This 996 was at the time the very definition of a racing sport 911. It was and remains a triumph of purpose, design and fulfillment. Exploitable as a road car, evidently unassailable on a track, and exciting just to be in. It remains unique among not just the 911 lineup, but at the time, all of its contemporaries. Porsche's visionaries invested a lot with this venture in the early 2000s, once again pinning their future on a single project. That they pulled it off in spectacular fashion with the 996 GT3 Racing Sport is a gift to today's Porsche GT car fans. For many drivers, the base 996 or the GT3 was plenty, but for those who wanted extreme performance and some serious track day bragging rights, the arrival of the 996 GT3 RS gave the fortunate few the real deal. It's far from practical and maybe too extreme for some, but back in 2003, Porsche set a high bar when they conceived the irrepressible, the sensational and almost irresponsible Porsche GT3 RS. So thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and comments are always welcomed. I read every single one and I'll reply to most, and if you haven't already, please think about subscribing. And if you hit this little notification bell, I'll send you another video.